welcome to the session. As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. Lee, you have the floor.
I just want to welcome everybody to this evening's event. We were, very happy that you all have decided to be here with us tonight to celebrate the life of Chadwick Boseman. And I will turn the floor over to LaToya Simmons, who will be our MC for the night, and will do the welcome.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. Let's see, I'm going to pull up our program here. So we just want to take the time to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. Welcome to the Wakanda United Photoshoot Tribute, Wakanda Forever, for Chadwick Boseman. So let's be real, everybody. 2020 has been a pretty difficult year for many of us. COVID-19 has been impacting all of our lives in some way, shape, or form, whether we know someone who had it or we had it ourselves, or we know that COVID is also claiming many lives and even preventing major events such as DragonCon from occurring as we know it. So honestly, we had planned to do something like some sort of virtual event in lieu of these things that have been happening in our world. But on August 28th, just like you, we received the very devastating news of the passing of Chadwick Boseman. He, for us, especially in this group and in the cosplay community and in the MCU world, he is our warrior, our king, our hero, our inspiration, and our MCU Black Panther. So we understand that many of us are feeling his loss all over the world. And we decided to make this event to have a tribute for him and to him, and also create a safe space for us to express ourselves, whether we're one of the elders who actually coordinated this event, who are on the line now, or whether you're one of the attendees who is participating, or even one of the people who is in the chat room right now. You can actually chat and put up some of your thoughts as well. So as far as the Wakandan Council of Elders is what we're calling them, those are the people who coordinated this event tonight, in lieu of DragonCon being canceled, or at least the in-person event being canceled. And that I just want to give them a shout out real quick. That includes Lee, who's the organizer of all things Wakanda, especially during our Wakanda United photo shoot that we've been hosting for the past few years at DragonCon. And then Jeff, who may also be on the line, and Vern. Wave your hand, Vern, if people can see you. Tanya, whose voice you heard earlier, she's sort of the producer of tonight's event. Wendell, Randy, Karima, Tony, Corey, Natasha, Lavette, Javon, Maya, who's working the chat box, and myself. So tonight we're going to go through this ceremony, this celebration of Chadwick's life and his portrayal, his awesome portrayal of his Black Panther, through watching some of the footage from last year's Black Panther or Wakanda United shoot at DragonCon. Then we'll hear some words and tributes from our council, who I just named off, and even from some of you, some of the attendees tonight. From there, we'll also do something in Wakandan style and in Chadwick Boseman style as far as a community, and we'll do a Bombay chant all ourselves. And then finally, we'll watch a final final video of members of our council as we close out tonight's event. So once again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sit back, relax, and share this link with other people, other friends that you know are Black Panther fans and Chadwick Boseman fans, and join us as we honor the man who was and still is our warrior, our Wakandan king, our hero, our Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman.
Good evening, everyone. Wendell Smith, known as Scorp King Cosplay. In the Wakandan world and Wakanda photo shoots, I am Baba. I usually cosplay as King T'Chaka. Tonight, we offer tribute to a king, a warrior, soldier, a freedom fighter, the godfather, a gentleman, a student of life and entertainment, a man who gave his everything while everything was ironically and literally tearing down inside him. We offer our deepest condolences to his family, friends, and those nearest and dearest to the man the world came to know as the King of Wakanda. August 28th, 2020, the world learned that Chadwick Boseman succumbed and died from a battle with colon cancer. The biggest surprise of it all is that no one outside of his family or his inner circle knew of his illness until his death. I mention this detail because since the time Chadwick was diagnosed with colon cancer, he proceeded to give the world 9 performances that a man in his condition would normally never even think about attempting. So what can we do as a community to commemorate the life of a man who gave so much? One, we can continue to push and strive to the best in our lives to help others. Secondly, we can continue to push for change in a world where it still looks at a person's skin color to be more important than another's. Thirdly, we can strive to be the person that Chadwick Boseman chose to be. A servant, a leader, a man who truly cared for those in need while he was just as needed. It's not too much to ask one to look inside themselves and to see the person who can be giving, caring, and kind to others. Whether they look or speak like you, or speak a language you may not yet understand, I believe Chadwick in his life strove for those same goals. In the public aspects of his life, we know he achieved and continued to strive to meet each one of those goals. We know his family's hearts are heavy with grief. We grieve with them. We thank you all for allowing us, his fans, to have him in our lives. Lastly, farewell, our King. May we see you in the ancestral plane when our time has come. Wakanda forever. Debola, Gungani, Wetu, Ngamana, Zinkubana. I'm gonna stop right there because I'm tongue-tied and I'm starting to get a little teary too because this still hits me kind of hard. So pretty much it's exactly like I said, farewell, our King. May we see you in the ancestral plane when our time has come. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever.
Thank you so much for that speech. That was beautiful. Like, I was over here, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I was over here tearing up myself. I saw a couple people in the camera, like, with their tissues too. So this is definitely very, very emotional for all of us. And thank you so much, Wendell, for those beautiful, heartfelt words that I think everyone on this call can relate to. So right now we're going to move on to some of the footage from last year's Wakanda United shoot at DragonCon, and you're going to hear a really familiar phrase, so stay tuned. thank you so much for that video, and special thanks to O4 Studios for creating that video, editing it for us, and sharing it with us and the world. So I think some of you may have had a hard time hearing the sound on that. I did too myself, so we do apologize for it. But at the very end, just in case you didn't know what they were saying, the Wakandan cosplayers were chanting Ibam Bay and Wakanda Forever. One of the things I want to remind everybody is, I know most of us are muted now, but in the group chat, there's a ton of conversation going on. So make sure you go in and you know, share your thoughts about Chadwick with each other and even with us. I know one really good comment that I saw in there was from Nakia. Thank you so much. One of the things that she mentioned as we were watching that video is, we actually gave Chadwick his flowers while he was here, through videos like that, through our cosplay, and through honoring his legacy while he was alive instead of waiting until his passing. And so that's an awesome thing. So if you happen to be at DragonCon next year, definitely come by, come see us for the Wakanda United shoot. It's every year. You can dress like anybody from Wakanda. It doesn't have to necessarily be Black Panther. I like to cosplay as Shuri. Maybe you like to dress as a Wakandan elder. Just know that you're welcome, and know that we're going to continue to carry on Chadwick's legacy. So now what we're going to do is move forward in the program by providing everyone a safe space to comment, whether it's in the chats or whether your mic is unmuted. So first we're going to hear from some of the elders, the tribal elders that helped organize this event, and then we're going to hear from some of the audience members. So Vern, I think you're up first.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? First of all, this is very hard for me. Been struggling since I got the news. Broke down a few times. This individual brought my character to life, my favorite character. You know, I've carried him with me for 4 decades, from the moment I first opened a book at the age of 6. You know, and he looked like me on the pages, and he was just awesome. And it's been heavy. It's been heavy. But most of all, he taught us how to be not just good men, but great human beings. You know, he inspired us. And even more, he solidified it by just knowing all these movies that he made, you know, and us finding out about what he was carrying, you know, this cancer that he was struggling with, you know. And it just speaks volume of who he was and what he represented, you know. I remember the first time, when I first got into cosplay, I was like, I really have to do my favorite character. And that's actually how I met Baba many, many years ago. And, you know, I actually saw him do Black Panther as well. And he was like, man, I'll take up the mantle as T'Chaka, you know, and he actually got the nickname Baba then, you know, and we've been doing it for many, many years. We had many shoots together as father and son, you know, but then Marvel cast Black Panther, which we all wanted. And we saw the magnitude of his performances and just what he did on set and off set, and, you know, visiting kids in the cancer ward, terminally ill kids, and just being a great example of what we should do and what we should be as far as giving back to our community, you know, and just being decent humans. You know, I mean, when we look at what's happening in the world today, all we can think of, or all we should think of, is the speech that he gave at the UN at the end. You know, in times like this, in times of crisis, you know, people who are smart, they build bridges instead of barriers. And we should, you know, build bridges and help those who cannot help themselves and defend those who cannot defend themselves. You know, because he lives in all of us. And if we are great human beings and we carry out Chadwick's work, because his work don't end now, you know what I mean? He set a blueprint for us to follow as humans. You know, and one of the things that's been helping me to carry on through this, or just to get by day, knowing he's gone, is is what he said to Black Widow, Scarlet, Natasha. He said, death is not the end in my culture. It's more of a stepping off point. And one day, when my end has come, I hope that I see him again and I will embrace him. He is my brother, my liege, my king. Thank you.
Brother Zuri, would you like to go next?
No, I'm good. Brother Zuri don't have any words, man. You know, I'm not. I'm not good at speaking, but you know, you know, people, you know, look and they say, "Oh, he was just an actor." How do y'all, you know, get so emotional about an actor or an actress or athlete or, you know, or anybody like that? You know, people have different heroes. You know, some people have, you know, make believe heroes. Some people have real heroes. You know, what he did, man, he just did a lot for us, you know, just by being not just the Black Panther, you know, like you said, he was a great human being. He was always had a smile, you know. I couldn't imagine having to deal with what he had to deal with and yet still smile and be humble, you know, even when people were attacking him, you know, he still never, you know, he never said anything, you know, and I even though when he was losing the weight, you know, I thought he was just doing it for a movie role. I was like, okay, you know, he's doing the Tom Hanks, you know, he's doing it for a movie role. I'm not one to body shame anybody, because hell, I can't body shame anybody. So it's like, you know, I never went down that road. I just thought he was doing it for a film. So it never thought to me that he had, you know, cancer or whatever. And, you know, by somebody who lost somebody, you know, I lost my mom to cancer. So somebody who lost somebody to cancer and see him do what he still did, and you're like, man, you know, dude, that's a hero. You know what I'm saying? Because the average person would have been like, you know what? Damn, a movie. I'm gonna try to look after me, take care of me. You know, I'm gonna do what I got to do for me. But I think he knew how important that film was for us, and I believe that wholeheartedly, that he knew how important, whether it was going to be successful or not. He knew that to us as Black men and women, that movie was very important, because we never seen anything like that. You know, we got plenty of Black superstar actors, but what do they play? Dirty cops, hookers, whores, you know, drug dealers, gangsters. You know, it's rarely a king. Hell, I don't even think you've ever been a king. I think one where when he did Gods of Egypt, which we're not going to talk about that, but you know, so it's like, you know, dude's gonna be missed, not just for the Black Panther or his movies. Dude's gonna be genuinely missed as a person, you know, because, you know, we need more people like him, especially in this day and age, man. You know, it's hard to find genuine good people, and that's what he was. I mean, he brought, you know, us together for this. You know, I wasn't even really, you know, I grew up watching, you know, reading the Black Panther comics, but I wouldn't say I was a wholehearted fan. I knew about the Black Panther. I enjoyed the Black Panther comics when he teamed up with other people, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I've been a Black Panther fan since day one, because I haven't. But when he took on this role, it just did something, man. I mean, it did something for a lot of us who never even thought about the Black Panther, you know. So he, like you said, he's gonna always be our king. It's just it's a sobering moment to know that he's not with us physically, but I know he's watching us, and we just gonna have to, you know, do better, do what he inspired us to do, and just go on to do great things in his name. That's all I got to say.
Thank you so much, Brother Zuri, aka Randy. Beautiful words. I saw somebody, as you were speaking, somebody commented and said, to kind of summarize what you said, he lifted a veil. He really did for a lot of us, bringing that character to life, jumping off of the pages of a comic book and then jumping onto the big screen and into our minds and hearts. So thank you so much for your words. Next, Lee, do you want to say a few words since you're one of the Wakandan elders?
Sure, I'd be happy to say a few words. You know, I want to thank everybody for participating. I want to thank everybody for being here, you know, this Friday night. Even though it's COVID, there's still other things that you could be doing, but coming together to share stories about how Chadwick Boseman inspired you, how Black Panther continues to inspire you to be a better person. You know, it's a wonderful thing. And thank you for the support of the shoot that we've had. We've grown over the years. You know, I still am in shock. I'm still in disbelief that, you know, someone seemingly so young, so vibrant, so talented, was taken from us at such a early stage in their life. I think he was just beginning to blossom, just beginning to show us what he could do. And, you know, Marvel made a great decision to cast, you know, Chadwick. I think that he was the perfect person to play, you know, T'Challa, to actually bring that air of regalness, that toughness, that sensitivity, because a lot of times, you know, Black men, we don't show how we can be sensitive and we can nurture and that we care. He brings all of that and really is the prototype of what Black male masculinity should be in this day and age. And I was fortunate to actually have met Chadwick twice, just in passing. Met him at New York Comic Con, or I'm sorry, San Diego Comic Con twice. And I'll just tell, you know, one funny story. One day, Chadwick told me my t-shirt was cool. Went to a signing that another one of our Panthers got me into, Brother Eddie Newsom. We call him Gramps, the originator, if you will, of all the Black Panther cosplayers. But got a chance to go up, you know. Chadwick was signing, you know, he casually would look up at people as he was signing, and he looked up at my shirt, and it looks like a Batman shirt. And some of you have seen me wear it. And he looked, and he did a double take, and he said, "Whoa, that's a cool shirt." You know, I was just like, wow, Black Panther told me my shirt was cool, you know. Another story I'll tell is that I was on a mission when the Black Panther footage was going to be shown at Hall H at San Diego Comic Con. I camped out. I was going to beg, borrow, steal, cheat, do whatever I could to be in that hall to see that footage. And some of you knew that because I was talking to you on the phone. I'm like, I'm about to get in there. We going to see all of this, right? And so, you know, the everything comes on, you know, Chadwick comes out, the whole cast is there, and they play the footage. And it's just like everything just jumped off the page. You know, the scene where he's running up the building, the person next to me says, you know, "Lee, you can breathe now. Breathe, Lee. I don't want you to die." Because I was just like, you know, oh my God, you know, just in nirvana, right? So that all happens. And the other thing that I grieve for is his castmates. Because it was very apparent to me that the cast was very close, that they were very close to one another, you know, and Chadwick was the leader, obviously. So the very next day, after they had shown, the footage and the crowd was, happy, and his co-stars, they were, dancing and celebrating and hugging. And I've never seen that before amongst the cast. Like, there was just a joyous eruption among them. They were as excited as we were, right? Except for one person sat there cool as a cucumber, and it was Chadwick Boseman, right? So I get up and I say, okay, I'm gonna ask this man about, why he was so cool. How I'm gonna do this, I don't know. But just so happened there was another screener, another signing that Marvel was actually doing. And one of our other brothers on the call, Brother Tony Ray, was actually there for that particular signing as well. He was in line, right in front of me. And so I got a chance through Black Heroes Matter to be involved in that event. Shout out to Black Heroes Matter as well as Black Lives Mattering. But I got to go up and, see Chadwick and talk to him. And I asked him, I said, you know what, Chadwick, or Mr. Boseman, I'm sorry. I didn't dare call him Chadwick. I said, Mr. Boseman, everybody was super excited yesterday when that footage was being shown, but you sat there, kind of just cool. And he just kind of like smiled and looked up at me and he said, I actually had seen that before all of them had seen that. And I said, well, it must be good to be the king. And we just laughed about it. So those are just, two memories that I have personally, of Chadwick Boseman. I know other people probably have more, but I just wanted to share that, with you all. And we will see Brother Chadwick on the ancestral plane. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those words, Lee. I saw a funny comment as you were talking, and somebody said, Lee is such a fanboy. It's true, you are. But guess what? I think everybody in this group is pretty much a fan. If not, we wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you so much for those words, Lee, and for being the organizer of this online virtual event, and also for the Wakanda United photo shoot. If it weren't for you, all of us wouldn't be together right now, so thank you. Let's see, do we have any other elders, Wakandan elders, or other people who helped organize this virtual event tonight who wanted to speak or give a few words? I don't know if Corey and Natasha are still on, or Tony. Let's see. I'm looking in the comments now to see if there's anybody who wanted to speak that was from the Wakandan elders group. Let's see. Okay, if nobody else is commenting, oh wait, nobody else is commenting. Oh, Maya, I think Maya wants to talk, so if we can unmute Maya's mic. She's the person that you all have been communicating with in the group chat. She's incredible, also a cosplayer and a fan of Black Panther, and helped organize this event tonight. So Maya?
Oh, thank you so much. Wow. I don't know that I have my words tonight, but I think that just being in this community, it's kind of reminiscent. I don't know if it's just me, but it's kind of reminiscent of being in church, and you have folks encouraging you to just say what you're feeling and say what's on your heart, and so. I definitely feel that energy. This, man, yeah, this was tough, right? It's a very difficult year, 2020. There's so many things that are facing us right now. And I think that one of the escapes that so many of us have once a year is the weekend that would be taking place right now, right? DragonCon. Like, that is, I can speak for myself. I can speak for several others that are here that I've spoken to just about the void that not having the physical DragonCon has left in our lives. And, adding to that, the void that losing a presence such as Mr. Chadwick Boseman is bringing to our lives. it is a lot at once. You add to that the 180 plus thousand American lives that we have lost since this pandemic began. The sickness that continues to be here, the political unrest that we see, the social justice needs that we have. It is just so much at one time. And Chadwick represented for so many of us in the face of Black death that we see every day, a hero. He was our king. He will always be our king. And now the mantle has been passed to us. And I think that's important for us to keep in mind, because that man battled cancer for 4 years, and no one was wiser. And he portrayed some of our real life heroes, Thurgood Marshall. You know, he portrayed James Brown. He portrayed, 42 was one of the best baseball movies ever made. Real life heroes, right? But he also embodied a hero that has meant so much to so many of us for a very long time, or a hero that has just come into our psyche and instantly captivated us. T'Challa. So I'm getting a little emotional and I'm losing my thoughts. So I'm trying to keep my words, but I just want to express my gratitude for this community that has been birthed because of the beautiful spirits that are here right now, and inspired by someone as special as Chadwick Boseman. He was a gift, and he will remain a gift to us. And I think in the midst of all of this despair, if we can all take the time to practice our gratitude for the time that we had with him, the inspiration that he has lent to us, and then this beautiful community that we still have. I think that is the ammunition to move forward. We reflect on the past and we use that to propel us forward. So with a lot of words and all over the place, but I want to thank everyone here. I want to thank all of the organizers. It's such a beautiful community, and I am so incredibly grateful to be a very small part. And I look forward to our family reunion next year. Wakanda Forever.
Thank you for those beautiful words. Wakanda Forever, for real, girl. Beautifully, beautifully stated. And I think so many of us can relate to your sentiments, as well as everyone else who spoke so far tonight. So in the interest of time, we're just going to keep things moving. Maya kind of took over for you in the chat group, or in the group chat. So just so you know, you had so much love in that chat. People were cheering you on. So thank you for everybody who's engaged in that conversation as well. So Maya, I'm going to hand the chat back over to you. For our next speaker, who's one of the council members of the elders, we're going to have Okoye Kai, or Karima, give a few words, maybe like 1 to 2 minutes if we can keep it kind of minimal like that, so we can give more people time to talk and really be able to express themselves on this really beautiful night that we're having. So Tanya, if we can unmute her, that would be great.
I'm sorry, what's her given name?
It may be Koye Kai on here. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through all these beautiful participants. Side note, while we're waiting, Kari. It's under Kari, Kari. But while I'm scrolling through all these people, shout out to everybody who's here that I didn't get to say hello to before. And I'm seeing so many people like looking amazing. Like y'all came here to slay for real to represent for Chadwick. So shout out to everybody in their cosplays. I'm just looking through all these pictures right now. Y'all look amazing. And I think Chadwick would really, really be honored. So now I think hopefully Kari's mic is unmuted. And
Yes.
I'll hand the mic over to you, the virtual mic over to you. 1 to 2 minutes, please.
I got you. 1 to 2 minutes. I'll try to be quick. Hello, everyone. And I just would like to say that Black Panther is pretty special to me. Normally, I have never been a cosplayer. I think the year before I met Lee, I did like a little minimal cosplay kind of thing. And the first year DragonCon hosted the Wakanda Welcome to You party, I met Lee leaving the party, and Lee's like, you have to come to the photo shoot. And I said, but I don't have a costume. He says, it doesn't matter. You have to show up. And I showed up, I met Vern. It was a really quick hello. And then I didn't see Vern again until October. And once I saw him in October, Vern said, there's something I want you to do. I said, well, I'm leaving again, but when I come back to get my autograph with Denia, we'll talk about it. And we talked for about probably an hour and a half about, will you come and be one of my Doras? And if it wasn't for Lee, I promise you I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for Vern, I would not have had this amazing costume with this amazing, meeting these amazing people and building my cosplay family. So I'm forever grateful for Black Panther, and I'm forever grateful for Marvel, casting Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther and casting the rest of the members. And I just kind of wanted to share that quick little story with you guys, that I'm happy we're here, and I'm happy that we get to build upon this. Life is short, and please, live it to the fullest as best as you can while you can.
Thank you so much for those beautiful words as well. That's awesome. And I did see you showing out, and somebody else did in the chat. She did show out. I think that was Jeff that said that. You did show out at DragonCon. And also, I think Chadwick would have loved your door. I mean, you literally look like you walked off of the set of the Black Panther film. He probably would have thought that you were one of the Doors from the movie. It just would have been like, oh yeah, that's one of my cast members, that's one of my set members. But anyway, thank you so much for your words. I think Tony Ray wanted to talk as well. I think he may be listed here, Tanya, as T Ray. So if we could unmute his mic, that would be great. He is also a Black Panther cosplayer.
Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. Go ahead, Tony, take it away.
Where do I begin to keep this succinct? Chadwick did for us what we have done for children. We dress up as superheroes and we give them a live visual of what they could, of realism. And for us as adults, we had to take that mantle up ourselves and do it. But for us to see the Afrofuturism, the complexity, the amazingness of a nation untouched by a white hand, untouched by colonization, allowed to thrive, allowed to succeed, allowed to be any of our greatest dreams come to life, that in and of itself was amazing. When I think about one of the first time I got to meet Chadwick, I literally had figured out from a screenshot of the trailer what his costume looked like for Challenge Day. And apparently it was a big hit because my friend who ran the Marvel stage at San Diego Comic-Con said that's all Chadwick could talk about. That and the fact that I had made a jacket that they had signed. And he was astounded by the fact that people who only had a sliver, like a small chunk of the amazingness that was to come of what Black Panther was going to be, that for him, I was told would like boost it forward. Like we we kept this alive. We were the people who made everything push forward. He did this for us. He did it for our children's children, our children, so that Black people know how beautiful and important and cherished and loved that they truly are. So for that, I am thankful for Chadwick Boseman, and he will always be.
Excellent words. Thank you so much, Tony. That was beautiful. And I'm really glad that you brought up that part about children. I think on this call right now, it's mostly adults, but we can't forget the impact that he had on children. I mean, there were so many kids, I'm sure some of you saw the pictures, floating across online where kids were in tears and had their little action figures lined up to give him a proper burial. I'm actually getting emotional right now. But it's something Chadwick was able to portray that particular character of Black Panther in a way that not only touched us adults, but also the little ones. Like, they got to have a hero too. And I think that is so powerful. Like, how many celebrities or actors and actresses do you know that can transcend age barriers like that? Right? It's incredible. And he did this globally. Incredible. So thank you for those words, Tony. Beautifully stated. Okay, I think, who do we have next? I think from the list of elders and council, the last person that volunteered to speak was Wendell. Did you want to have a few closing words, maybe like just 1 to 2 minutes, so we can move on to the next question?
For sure.
Okay, thank you.
I'm actually going to keep this briefer than I normally would, because I tend to be long-winded. With everyone giving the memories and sharing the memories that they did, one thing came to mind that Chadwick actually said during an award presentation to Denzel Washington. He actually told Denzel and the audience there that without Denzel, there would be no Black Panther. You think back on that, and and if you know the story of what Denzel did for Chadwick at that time, when he was still in college, you understand. But now let's flip it and pay it forward and look at the roles that in this short period of time, this man actually put forth so much effort for and knocked them out the box. He was Thurgood Marshall. He was Jackie Robinson. He was James Brown, Godfather of Soul. And then I can't even say lastly, he was our king, T'Challa. And then lastly, in one of his last shown movies, because I just found out recently that there's actually one more that they postponed because of his death.
Mm-hmm.
His role in The Five Bloods, the character he played in The Five Bloods, was so revered by the other four Bloods that they did everything they could 30 years later to find his body. And he knocked that role out of the box in one of his most likely sickest times ever. And you can see it in his face, you can see it in his body. Now that we know that he was actually sick, but you can tell while he was performing. You just thought that was part of the role. So the one thing I want everyone to take from his life and then his death, look at the ones that his life inspires next. And it won't be financial, but again, you have children who look up to him so much because of who he was. They're bound to go ahead and say, well, he did this, so I want to do better. I want to be like him. So through his death, we're going to see more Black Panthers coming up in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And I can't wait for it. I'll be 65 doggone years old at that time, but I don't care. I'll be sitting in a rocking chair playing with my dog and enjoying every last bit of it. just like Denzel did at that award show, because something that was so small to him, because when he donated the money he did for that program, he didn't even know who he was donating for. And then even once he found out who he was donating for, he still didn't realize that that person was going to be Thurgood Marshall, Jackie Robinson, our King T'Challa. So I'm looking forward towards the future with those that witnessed what he was today. And with that, I'm going to shut up because I'm starting to get emotional my damn self.
And that's all right. That's what we're here for, to have a safe space to be able to express all of this awesomeness and all of what we truly feel. I think one of the most important things that you mentioned is really that transition of power and that transition of energy, right? Yes, he transitioned on to what some believe is a different plane, the ancestral plane or whatever we like to call it, right? But his legacy still lives on in this next generation and the little ones that are coming up. And I don't know if we have our baby Black Panther on, little Jacob. Jacob was the first child to ever attend a Wakanda United photo shoot. And so I don't know if he's on, but if he's on, his mom or his aunt, can you leave a comment in the comments box? Maybe if he wants to talk, we'd like to hear from him. But while I'm waiting for those words of yes or no from mommy or auntie, I also want to, mom says she's going to go get him. All right, but I also want to talk about briefly not only transitioning our mantle over from Wakanda United to all kinds of Black Panther fans like the ones here tonight, but also transitioning the mic as well. So I think we've wrapped up all of our elders and our Wakandan council. So we really want to give time for you, the audience members, to share your thoughts and your memories and what Chadwick Boseman meant to you and what Black Panther means to you as well. So with that being said, we're going to start unmuting some mics. I'm going to, just in the interest of time, because we're approaching an hour now, we really want to respect everyone's time, but I'm going to give you about 1 minute to say your few words to answer the question, what does T'Challa or Chadwick Boseman mean to you? Okay, so the first person that we're going to have up based on some of the comments that we're seeing here is Jabbar, also known as Bar Fox. He was one of the first people that commented in our group chat that talked about a personal experience that was limited too, but still a personal experience that he had with Chadwick Boseman. And so if we, Tanya, if we can unmute Jabbar's mic, it'd be awesome if Jabbar, you could summarize your experience. I know it's going to be really hard, but try to summarize it in about 1 minute if possible.
I do not see him in the chat.
Oh, he's not in the chat anymore. Oh, maybe he's there. I see him. He's listed as Bar Fox.
Yeah, he's there.
Yep, he's smiling. And he has a Killmonger background, which is dope because that's his cosplay.
Here I am. This is me.
Yay!
Well,
so yeah, tell us like what Chadwick means to you, what Black Panther means to you based on your experience.
Well, I want to share this little story because back before Black Panther is when I met Chadwick Boseman, and I was told I needed to go meet him because somebody was doing a movie for James Brown, and so I had to go to the premiere and meet this guy, and I was really unenthused. I mean, I was absolutely unenthused. I didn't know who he was. I didn't care. I was annoyed. I'm like, I don't want to be bothered, but I had to go here and be at this party. But what I wanted to say is when I got there and I met Chad.
If you all can mute your mics, that would be great, so we can make sure we can prevent feedback. Thank you.
When I got there and I met Chad, he was the absolute most calming and sincere person I have met in the industry in a long time. And I was enamored. So what happened is, the longer we hung out together and we talked, he just was telling me his philosophy. At first I was like, he's a little weird because he was very, very kind of not shy, but just a man of not of many words. He would say what he wanted to say and he was done. But as I talked to him more and got to know him more, he was such a wonderful spirit. And that's when I became a fan. I wasn't a fan of the movie. I still didn't like the movie that much, but I became a fan of him. And to see him do the work that he did and for him to choose the roles that he chose and refuse to just be stereotyped and typecast is so amazing. And then to learn that he was working while he was sick is also another amazing thing. So I just wanted to share the fact that, you know, meeting him made you fall in love with him even more as a person. And it's only through his calming nature. It was something about his essence and his aura. But I'll shut up now. I think my minute is up.
Thank you, Bar. And I appreciate that summary and that real life actual interaction with him, and to see him behind the scenes, and the fact that not only was he a real person, but from what many of us are hearing, and I'm sure you saw this, he was extremely intelligent too, like a brilliant mind. So to see that transition, that person transition from just regular life to on film and portraying these incredible characters had to be amazing, Bar. So thank you so much for sharing that. And TJ says that was an amazing story. He liked it. I did too. Okay, let's see if little Jacob is on yet. Jovan, are you around at all? Because we wanted to be able to give the kids a safe space to talk to if they wanted to. I'm looking through.
He was here. He is on his way back. Sorry about that. He needed a little quick run break. He's on his way, though. You give us a minute. Someone else needs to go, and then we'll be here.
Okay. Well, ask his mom very quickly. Ask his mom, did you want to share anything based on some? Oh, there he is. Hi, Jacob. Hi.
Hey, Jacob.
This is our baby panther, guys. Give him a round of applause so he can see you, even if he can't hear you.
Hey,
this is our first
Jacob, how you doing?
Black Panther cosplayer at the Wakanda United shoot.
Yes.
He's been back quite a few times as well, so now he's an experienced cosplayer. So, Jacob, we have a question for you. Are you ready? Yeah? Okay. What does Black Panther mean to you? Why do you like him? Uh-oh, I think he's muted. Hold on, Jacob. We want to hear what you're saying. Tanya, if you could unmute Jovan again so we can hear little Jacob, that would be awesome. Let's see. Okay, try to say something.
Hear us now?
Yep,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, Jacob, let's try this again. What does Black Panther mean to you? Why do you like him so much?
Because he's black.
Because he's black?
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about.
Jacob, you can summarize this whole talk. You summarized the whole virtual meeting, honey.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And why do you like to dress up as Black Panther? Why do you think that's fun? Uh-oh, he's muted again.
Oh, no.
Hear us now?
Oh, yep, now we can.
Okay. Why is it fun? Tell them why.
Why is it fun to dress up?
Why is it fun?
Oh, because I get to look buff.
Get to look buff?
Yep.
Okay, if you guys haven't seen Jacob's Black Panther photos, he does have a Black Panther costume where he has lots of what, Jacob? Lots of muscles, right? And he looks amazing. So Jacob, thank you so much for joining our talk tonight. All the grown-ups really appreciate you. Let's give him one more round of applause, guys. Good job, Jacob. We'll see you next year at the Wakanda United shoot too. Okay? All right, let's see. Who's next?
Channing, are you still there?
Channing, let's see. Are you on? I'm looking through you guys' photos now, or video, sorry.
Just raise your hand.
Uh-oh.
He might be
Somebody's
gone.
leaving the house. Okay. All right. So,
Or Kari.
okay, Kari, we can unmute your mic. Oh, there's Channing. I see you're on as right. We thought you were on as Channing. You're on as Smarty Art something. So before Kari speaks, Smarty Art Brother. Before Kari speaks, Tanya, can you unmute Smarty Art Brother? And let's try to keep it to 1 minute because we're a little bit past the hour now, but we do definitely want to hear from you, especially about the awesome photo shoots that you host at DragonCon as well. I'm handing the mic to you.
Yeah, I'm in the death slot because everybody's done such a good job. I I almost didn't do this because I'm not really big on the whole celebrity death things, but for Chadwick, you kind of make an exception. In our community, you hear two phrases thrown around a lot. One is Black excellence, and the other one is living your best life. And Chadwick kind of personified both of those. He's an HBCU grad. He was basically blessed by two Black movie icons, Felicia Rashad and Denzel Washington. He's played some iconic Black people, Thurgood Marshall, James Brown, the list goes on and on. And that's Black excellence. He also lifted other Black people up. And as far as living his best life, I'm fortunate in that none of my immediate family have had to deal with cancer, but having worked for a cancer center, I can tell you it's not pretty. When they say stage 3 or stage 4, they're also kind of telling you, get your stuff together. So for him to go through that and still be able to say, hey, I'm going to go and spend time with these kids. Hey, I'm going to donate to these charities. And oh yeah, I'm going to make these bomb movies and do most of my own stunts. That really says a lot about him as a person. And I think if anything that you take away from this, to say he's just an actor is kind of downplaying it. He was at his core a good person. And I think that's something that all of us should try to be. I think also the fact that he and I were the same age, that kind of made it hit a little bit harder for me. But again, I think if we can all come away from this just being a little bit better to everybody, then his death won't be in vain.
Well said. Well said, my friend. Thank you for those words. And thank you for that insight about cancer too. I think everyone that's on this call right now either knows someone very close to them, or maybe in their life has actually had cancer. It's something that's affected us, all of us, in some way, shape, or form. Different types of cancers, yes, but we all can relate to that scary process that people have to go through, whether it's a mental process or the physical one altogether. So thank you for sharing that aspect of the work that you've done working at a cancer center. Really, really important work. Thank you for that. So next, I think Kari is on.
Yes, I'm on. Y'all can hear me?
There you go.
All right.
Hello,
so
brother. 1 minute. 1 minute.
I'm kind of with Channy on that. I don't usually do the whole celebrity thing as well, but as y'all know, this one hit different. And it hit different because of a few connections between Mr. Boseman and I. First of all, we're both graduates of the same university, HU!
You know?
Okay. Also, colon cancer is also the disease that took my grandfather 19 years ago, almost to the day that Boseman transitioned. So there's that connection as well. And the fact that we both started cosplaying as a Black Panther about the same time. He was doing it for the role. I was just doing it for fun at DragonCon. But there's one thing that he did though in playing that role that changed. It kind of changed everything. It didn't change everything for me, but it changed my mindset. I remember watching Civil War back in 2016 and hearing that extreme African accent and thinking, shouldn't T'Challa be, better educated than that? Shouldn't he have something closer to, I don't know, a British accent with maybe a touch of African accent to it? But then I learned later that he really pushed to do that accent, to basically play that role as if, because in truth, Wakanda was never touched by European colonialism. And so he said, for me to use the European accent would be an absolute betrayal of this character. And that's when I realized just how much white supremacy thinking had gotten into my head. I'm so glad that he made that decision. And I believe that's the reason why Black Panther, the film we eventually got, was so African, so Afrofuturistic as it was because he made that decision back when he was on the set of Civil War. And so that's my little tribute to Chadwick Boseman. Wakanda Forever.
Thank you. Wakanda Forever, brother. Very well said. We have one more person that's up to speak for the audience, and I think that's Antoine. If we can unmute his mic, Antoine, you have approximately 1 minute to speak, and then we're going to move on with our program. Uh-oh. Is he still there?
Oh, raise your hand, Antoine. Yeah, he's still there. Antoine.
Y'all hear me?
There he is. Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you.
Hey. Only thing I can think about is like the first time I ever did my Black Panther mashup. And I remember when I was trying to get to like a photo shoot. And it was around the time like during the whole DragonCon parade. That I was trying to like go through the crowd and everything, and I was getting a little late. But there was like one moment when a family, a Black family, kind of stopped me and wanted to take a picture with the kids, which of course I said yeah. And I think about after I finished taking the picture, there was this one little girl who just came up to me and she like gave me like this warm hug, and I was like, I just felt so, I wanted to cry at that moment. And thinking back to it, and thinking back to like, you know, with Chadwick's passing, it got me thinking. I mean, I came back just thinking that, you know, how much of an influence not only to me, but he also kind of passed the influence to like the kids as well. And just thinking about how the kids like thinking like, oh my God, I'm seeing like this Black man like on my screen and becoming not only a superhero, but also he's a king. He's like, he shows like how beautiful Black people can be in this futuristic like world. And I just got to think about how much inspiration that, you know, Chadwick was, and the fact that he just, you know, he did all this for us while he's sick. It shows like how much of an amazing person that he is in real life, and also I think about like his movies that he's made, like 42, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and he was about to do Yasuke, which is a story about the first African samurai. Like Chadwick is the type of person that makes us not want to forget about like, you know, our history. Wants to show like how amazing Black people are and what things that we can do. So I mean, that just gives me like all tons of respect for him, and just knowing that he's gone now is, like y'all said, it's like it's up to us now, kind of continue his legacy and continue his influence to like show like our youth of like, you know, what things that we can, you know, accomplish. So I mean, all I can say is like rest in peace, Chadwick. Like we're all gonna miss him, and of course I can't wait to see y'all next year for Wakanda United. Just think about, you know, what things we can do to honor him. That's basically all I can say right now. Just, you know, we're all gonna miss him, and, you know, we're just gonna, you know, that's all I got right now.
Got you. Thank you so much, Antoine. That's awesome what you said. And I think one of the most important things that you said at the end is reminding us of the Wakanda United photo shoot. Yeah, it was canceled this year, but we're definitely going to have it next year as long as Rona is not a deal. So please, if any of you guys attend DragonCon, please come see us. One of the ways that you'll know when and where that photo shoot is going to be is by following at Dr. Law's Photo Lab. That's DRLAWS and then Photo Lab, all one big word, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. All of that information will be posted there as we get closer to DragonCon, because we'd like to have you all out. So if you're cosplaying, you can be in the big group photo and be with us. And if you're not cosplaying, it's okay. Just come and just feel the vibe and the energy and take pictures. I think it's my favorite photo shoot in all of DragonCon because the vibe is so amazing. There literally is no other vibe like that. Like, I look forward to going to DragonCon every year because the energy is so pure and it's so rich and it's so contagious. So we really, really want to have you guys out. And thank you to everybody who's on this video right now who's already been, and you're pretty much a veteran.
Let me say one thing too about that. Is that how all this got created is really because of a conversation and me seeing Vern. Vern is very quiet, very humble about, you know, his abilities and what he does. But, you know, Vern's cosplay was blessed by Chadwick at the New York premiere of Black Panther. me and him got this whole thing, this whole group started just by me seeing him bringing his whole family down as the Wakandan Council one year at DragonCon. And then seeing him, when Civil War came out, in his amazing Civil War costume. And we found a Captain America and we found a Bucky and we did a photo shoot. And it came out really good. And so, Vern's like, well, why don't we do a Wakanda themed photo shoot? I was like, I wonder if anybody will come, but let's try it. And, here we are today. So I just want to give my brother Vern, props. And even this whole thing that got set up today was really, Vern's idea. He was like, man, we should do something. Even though we're not going to be able to have a photo shoot at DragonCon, we need to do some kind of event that will, draw people together. Little did we know that, it would be under, ominous, Chadwick's death would, cast somewhat of a cloud. But I feel a lot better as a result of, having the event and the way, everyone has participated, the way Toya has moderated, the way everyone has pitched in. I mean, it's been fantabulous. Fantabulous. So I just want to say, Vern, I love you, brother.
Yes. And Vern, we are really thankful for you and your natural love for Black Panther, because it's actually contagious. If it weren't for you, then we wouldn't have the photo shoots. And if it wasn't for the photo shoots, we wouldn't be here tonight celebrating the life and the legacy of a tremendously talented man and actor, Chadwick Boseman. So thank you so much for that. So what we're going to do, I don't even know who's saying love you all and love you back, but guess what? I love y'all too. Gosh darn it. I love everybody in here. Dude, that's what all this is about anyway. And Chadwick shows us so much love. So I think it's our responsibility to show that love, to pass that mantle on, to keep that torch going, keep that flame going, whether it be in cosplay or in your actual life or your professional life as a parent, as just a human. He was just a great human. And so I think it's our responsibility, as Maya mentioned earlier, to continue that on. So next, we have our next part of the program. Our next part of the program, where I don't know if you guys remember, but in the Black Panther film, there was a chant that everyone yelled, and it became sort of an homage to Wakanda and to everything that had to do with Black Panther. And the one word that they kept chanting, and we heard people around DragonCon chanting it too, is Yibambe. So I don't know, Lee or one of the tribal elders, do you want to tell us what that word means and why it's so important even tonight?
Vern, do you want to talk about that?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
The word Ibambe in Kosa, it means to hold firm or hold fast. So in moments of weakness, this word is used so that you can brace yourself for whatever the impact might be, and you could push back against the impact. Don't break the line. Hold fast.
That's what's up. So what we wanted to do was to do a chant, to say Chadwick Ibambe, Chadwick Ibambe, Chadwick Ibambe, and then Wakanda Forever. So let's all do that together. So Toya, can you lead us?
Yeah, but do we want to watch an example video first before we all unmute ourselves, Lee?
We could. Let's go ahead and watch that.
Watch a little video. I'm going to give Tanya, our producer here, time to cue that up. But yeah.
Ibambe, 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 Wakanda Forever.
Ibambe, 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 Ibambe,
Ibambe, Ibambe, Ibambe,
Ibambe, Ibambe, Wakanda Forever.
Ibambe, 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 Wakanda Forever.
All right, so we have.
Because it's the video
So
ended.
let's go ahead and try to do it all
But y'all
together.
got the idea. Y'all got the idea. Bombay 2 times, and then Wakanda Forever a 3rd time, right? So in order for us to be able to do this together, we gotta unmute everybody's mic. So I guess we're getting feedback now.
Just so y'all know, I might get loud.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to try it, though. On 3, Bombay 2 times, and then Wakanda Forever the 3rd time. Vern, do you want to lead us?
Sure. Everyone's ready?
Yep.
Do it.
Yes.
Bombay.
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 Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever.
Right. Right.
Can't cross my arms. I'm holding the phone.
Thank you, everybody, for participating in our interactive portion of our service and our ceremony to honor Chadwick. Let's see. I think we have. Is that Lee?
Yeah. I think the one last thing that we wanted to try to do is just remember Chadwick as always being our king.
Yeah.
So I know we have a video for that.
Yeah, he's always going to be our king, guys. Always, always, always in our hearts and minds. So, Tanya, if you want to cue up the next video. And I like what Nakia said, the tradition lives on. It totally does. Totally. Oh, I like what TJ said, too. Long live the king of Wakanda. Absolutely. Long live him and his legacy.
Chadwick will always be our king.
Chadwick, you will always be our king.
Chadwick 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 Boseman will always be our king.
So once again, we want to thank everybody so much for joining us tonight. Chadwick will always be our king. He was with us for a very short 43 years, but as all of us have mentioned, his legacy will live on in us. So thank you so much, everybody, Wakandan elders and audience, for sharing your thoughts, whether you did it vocally, on the mic, or in the chat. Special thanks to Maya for moderating the chat. And just thank you also, everybody, for joining us as we created a safe space for us to all talk about and reminisce about a truly great man, which is Chadwick Boseman. May you rest in power and in peace. Chadwick, you will always be our king. Thank you so much for joining us. Lee, do you have any final words?
We have one more video that we want to show. We just want to highlight how the Wakanda shoot has grown over the years, and just say that we'll see you next year. So if Tanya, you could find the closing video, please roll it for us. And thank you, Toya, for being an excellent moderator.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks, Toya.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Toya.
Lee, if you could keep talking there for a minute, I do not have a pre-roll for that one.
Oh, okay.
Manfred Lee.
Okay. Well, just again, thank you for everybody who decided to come tonight. I know, again, there was a lot of other places that you could have been. I don't know about y'all, but I feel much better. I feel so much lighter. Like Maya was expressing, everything has been so heavy. The last week has been really difficult. But this actually makes me feel better. I didn't get to go to Chadwick's funeral, but I feel like we had one in some ways, for him here. And we know that his work will continue to inspire us and push us higher to greater heights, and that this will be passed down. But the name Chadwick Boseman will resonate throughout history. His work will never be forgotten. Never be forgotten.
Yeah, tell us where we can get more information, Lee, about Wakanda United and about Dr. Law's Photo Lab.
Sure. So Wakanda United is a Facebook group. All you have to do is request to join and answer a couple of questions. And it's for everybody. People who have high levels of knowledge about Black Panthers, people who are beginning, people who like films, people who read comics, who don't read comics, all that stuff. It's a place just to share our love of all things Black Panther. Also, you can get more information about the Wakanda shoot and a few of our other shoots at DR_LAW_S, so Dr. Law's Photo Lab, on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter as well. So we would be happy to, have you.
Yeah.
And
we follow back too. We do.
We do. We follow back, we retweet, we repost, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
They do such great work.
Oh, thank you. I don't even know who said that, but thank you.
Tony said it.
Was that Tony? Oh, Tony, you're awesome.
Only because we work with great people. You know?
I mean, when you look at the group and you look at the photo shoots over the past 3+ years now, from where we started, because like you said earlier, Lee, Vern came to you with an idea, and you were like, "Okay, let's do it." Next thing I know, I'm getting called. Hey, we're gonna do this. All right, what time and when? Next thing I know, Latoya's on board. Tony's on board. And that was just the first, the very first one. Didn't know how many people were going to show up. Didn't know how it was going to go. And we had a decent turnout. We had 50 some odd people there, I think, the first year, almost 60, 75, somewhere between 50 and 75. The next year, we had almost 200. And then last year, good God.
We just keep growing.
So now imagine come next year with everything that's happened between, us not being able to be together this year, Chadwick passing, and then just our love of, the Black Panther, the characters, and it's in itself. Because we've got some beautiful people on this doggone chat right now who, like you said earlier as well, it's Friday night. Y'all could be doing anything else, but you're here with us. And we love you. We thank you for that.
Yep. And so the video is ready, and we look forward to seeing you all next year. I apologize that the video quality is not necessarily the best, but we will post all the videos in the Wakanda United group and on the event page for you to view. So with that being said, I will go ahead and if I have the ability to share my screen, I will screen it for you.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Have a great night.
Oh yeah, Tanya, I need to be able to share the screen, my screen.
In Power.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna take another sip of this purple herb.
Yes, sir. You on this heart-shaped herb. Here we go.
Wakanda Forever! Ibambe!